violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Welcome back. We want to get to some breaking news tonight. Prince George's County Police say that 3 people were shot near the entrance to the shops at Iverson in Temple Hills. The victims, all adults, 2 women and a man.
Yeah, our John Henry is live outside of that mall right now. And John, what are police saying about the shooting and the search for the gunman in this case?
Well, Lorenzo and Larry, they're still looking out for that gunman and a person that he was with. But look at this right here behind us, the door here, you can actually see a bullet hole. And right now, the entrance to the shops at Iverson are currently closed as well.
So they shot up the mall, man. And these public mass shootings are beginning to feel nonstop. Almost unavoidable. You can ban guns at the mall, but you can't ban super gremlins from getting on demon time.
This happened around 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're told a man and 2 women were shot near this entrance. The man is currently in critical condition, and the 2 women who were shot here were seriously injured, according to Prince George's County Police.
And they shooting the sisters. Where is the Protect Black Women Brigade on this one? Okay.
Now, according to Police Chief Malik Aziz, he said these 2 men got into an argument with several people inside the mall. The 2 men then went to leave when one reportedly turned around and started shooting. The chief said that he's unable to confirm whether the people who were injured in the shooting were involved in the argument or not. Right now, investigators are also working on gathering any video of this incident that they can to learn more about what happened here. That said, we can tell you they are once again still on the lookout for the people responsible for this shooting. Unfortunately, this is not the first or second time this has happened here either. Earlier in March this year, there were officers who had to return to this mall after a man was injured in a shooting. And then in 2021, in October, a 44-year-old man was killed outside this mall.
Wow. So this isn't even the first shooting this year at this mall. Oh, man. It's different out here, y'all.
Enzo and Larry?
All right, John, thanks so much. Of course, if anything develops, you can be sure to let us know. John, thank you.
5 of the big story tonight, a shooting at Iverson Mall. 3 people were shot there this afternoon.
Yeah, police say this is not an active shooter scene, though the suspect and an accomplice
She cold.
did escape. Tisha Lewis joins us live from Temple Hills with more on this report. Tisha?
We did just receive an update from Prince George's County Police Chief Malik Aziz, and here's what we know so far. 3 people were shot at the entrance here at Iverson Mall. In fact, if you take a look behind me, you can see a bullet hole in the door, so we could be telling a much worse story tonight. What we do know is that the victims include 2 women and a man, the latter said to be in critical condition. The gunman was reportedly wearing some type of face covering.
My safety, yes, because then I thought, what if they come down here? So I looked for an exit, and I seen an exit door in the academy itself.
I'm surprised. That's number 1. And number 2, somebody got shot and killed.
Why are you surprised, brother? This is my thing. Why are these brothers surprised? Okay? This stuff happens non-stop in the community. Non-stop. All right? But you still have brothers with the cognitive dissonance acting as if they have no idea how this is happening, why this is happening, and does it really happen that often? Yeah, it does, bruh. The OGs have failed us and opened up a portal for these super gremlins on demon time.
Shot. Okay, well, I didn't know that. But either way, I'm still going to keep on coming here because I've been coming here. My daughter's 35. So I'm not going to start coming here because of that one incident.
Of course.
This all unfolded shortly before 1 p.m. Now, despite the gunfire, Bonita Luckett, who you heard from a moment ago, tells us the mall was not evacuated. She says she left on her own using a back exit. She also says she heard at least 3 gunshots. Now, 2 of the victims struck are expected to survive. Again, the male victim is in critical condition. At least 4 officers, we're told, were at the mall at the time of the shooting. We're told they rendered aid to the victims. Police say the suspect fled on scene along with an accomplice. Again, this is just the latest mall shooting in our area and nationwide.
We know there was some type of verbal exchange right now. What that verbal exchange was, we do not know, and we do not know if it was with 1, 2, or 3 of the victims, but there was some kind of verbal exchange.
And then go off and then come back. All right, it's still an active scene here. Just want to kind of paint the picture for you. We're told that the gunman actually fired shots into the hallway of the mall. So again, we could have been telling a much worse story tonight. We did speak with employees at the Bojangles nearby. Employees telling us that they did not have power today, and so their surveillance cameras were not working at the time of the shooting. They did put their tech people in touch with police, hoping to uncover any potential video that may exist to help police with their investigation. Back to you.
Breaking right now, bullets fired following an argument at a local mall, and 3 people are shot. We're live with the new developments as police search for suspects.
Plus, the latest from the scene of that mass shooting at a workplace in Maryland, how a community is coping after 3 people are killed.
And commanding controversy, the new action taken by the team's head coach following those controversial comments about January 6th from one of his top assistants.
News 4 at 4 starts now.
First at 4 this Friday, police are still searching for suspects in a shooting at the shops at Iverson.
The one on the top is called.
Good afternoon. I'm Pat Lawson-Muse.
And I'm Erica Gonzalez. 3 people were injured in that gunfire. Many of you know the area as Iverson Mall. It's located on Branch Avenue in Temple Hills.
Prince George's County Bureau Chief Tracy Wilkins was first on the scene. Tracy, what can you tell us about this?
Well, Pat and Erica, you mentioned the name difference, that folks may know this as Iverson Mall, but it's now the shops at Iverson because this mall is being redeveloped. And there are still a lot of people who come here and frequently.
Dang. I mean, I don't know if the violence has anything to do with the redevelopment, but renaming the mall is not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything at all. Might make it harder to find when these super gremlins type in the mall address in Google and try and Google Maps it. But other than that, you're still going to have the same exact issue. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Come to this mall, especially on a Friday afternoon. So there are plenty of folks who are upset about what happened inside of this building here today. Let me take you back to what it looked like just a little while ago. Prince George's County Police say there were 2 groups of people, 2 women and a man. And then on the other side, there were 2 men who evidently were armed. The 2 had some kind of a conversation. Words were exchanged. As the 2 men were leaving, they then turned around and they fired shots. This is how the chief describes what happened next, and we also hear from someone who heard the shots from inside the mall.
Before walking out of the mall, they had a verbal exchange with 2 females and 1 male who was standing there. Some type of verbal exchange occurred. They exited the location. One of those males turned around and began firing shots, multiple shots, inside the location. He struck 2 females who are in serious condition, and 1 male who is in critical condition at this time.
I just heard it say pow, pow, pow like that. Now that's why.
What'd you say, sis? What'd you say they did?
I just heard it say pow, pow, pow like that. Now that's why I said I don't know how many shots it was, but yeah. Wow. It's crazy.
As you can see, the mall is still closed at this time. Prince George's County Police are still investigating. It's important to note that there were 4 officers inside of the mall when all of this happened. Some off duty, some actually working security inside of this mall, and they jumped in to help the people who were shot in this incident. But the suspects did get away. Prince George's County Police still looking for them. And it's also important to note that at some point, these 2 men put ski masks on.
You mean Pusheisty masks?
So Prince George's County Police are reviewing the video here to see if they can figure out who it is that they're looking for, and this is still a very active investigation. Reporting live, I'm Tracy Wilkins. Back to you all in the studio. Prince George's County Police are still investigating exactly what happened here inside of the mall, but you can see the aftermath here with bullet holes there in the doorway. Management actually has started to post some signage to try and cover up some of the holes here, and this investigation is just beginning. But this is what the chief of police says. He says that there were two groups here and words were exchanged, and just as two men were leaving the mall, they turned around and started to fire at the other groups.
And just like that, words being exchanged, a whole bunch of BANs, which is, y'all can, surmise what the acronym stands for, PANs, and, after that, it gets elevated, okay? And there's no turning back from that.
Striking two women who have non-life-threatening injuries, according to police, and another man who is now in critical condition. What led to all of this? There are still a lot of questions. Here now from Chief Aziz.
We must address these senseless acts of gun violence by any means. So I don't think any of our residents deserve this into these acts that are just, in my opinion, are very openly cowardly acts to injure or hurt any of our residents here. So something must be done.
Again, this is still a very active investigation. Prince George's County Police looking for their suspects, and there are lots of cameras inside and outside of this mall. They're going to be depending on that footage to help figure out who is responsible for all of this. I'm Tracy Wilkins, News 4.
This is a News 4 breaking news update.
Good afternoon. I'm Sean Yancey at the News 4 live desk with an update now on the breaking news we brought you just a short time ago. Police are on the scene after a shooting at the shops of Iverson. This is in Temple Hills, Maryland, in Prince George's County. We can tell you we just got in contact with police. We've received information. The shooting happened around 12:45 this afternoon. Police were called to the mall area. We are receiving reports now that at least three victims were hurt and taken to the hospital with what is believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. Police say there is no active shooter there at the scene, but they are right now trying to ID the shooter or shooters and try and track them down wherever they may have gone. These are live images, Chopper 4 over the scene. You can see the yellow crime scene tape. We believe that this shooting may have happened somewhere in between what is a Chipotle restaurant and a Mama Lucia's on the right. There's an entrance to the mall right there. We saw police dropping evidence markers there on the outside. Again, we are receiving reports that there was a shooting here at the mall. It's unclear if the shooting happened inside the mall or outside the mall, but we can tell you we do know at least three people were hurt. They were taken to the hospital with what's believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. Again, there is no active shooter at the scene, according to police, but they are trying to identify the shooter or the shooters. They are looking for them right now. This happened again around 12:45 here at the shops of Iverson. And as you can imagine, this was a tense time. People would have been in this area for lunch. You've got a Chipotle there on the left, a Mama Lucia there on the right. These are pictures there from the ground, which is outside the entrance to the shops of the Iverson Mall. You can see a number of markers there that's on the ground there. These white markers here are images of what police were marking as evidence. They could be shell casings or other things that are connected to the shooting. Again, Prince George's County Police were called here around 12:45 for reports of shots being fired. We're still trying to determine right now if the shooting happened inside the mall or outside the mall. But from what we can tell from these evidence markers, it appears there were some shots that were fired right outside this entrance here. It's a doorway that leads to the inside of this mall. The shops at Iverson used to be the shops at Iverson Mall used to be the Iverson Mall a while ago. This is a mixed-use retail space with restaurants. And as you can see, these are live images right now. There is a large police presence in this area. Officers right now are trying to investigate. Again, we were told at least three people were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There is no active shooter right now, but police say they're still trying to identify who the shooter or shooters are, and they are trying to track them down. We're still working to find out what may have led to the shooting. Certainly around 12:45, there would have been a number of people in this area because it's lunchtime. It's a Friday afternoon. It's a beautiful day. This is right in between the Chipotle and the Mama Lucia's. It's the entrance that goes inside the mall. The Shops at Iverson has stores on the interior and the exterior. So there are a lot of entry and exit points. There's a lot going on right now. We're still working just to find out exactly what may have happened here earlier this afternoon. Again, for right now, the news that we're hearing that at least 3 people were injured. It is unclear if they were injured in the shooting or injured some other way, but we know it's related or stems from this shooting at Iverson, the Shops at Iverson. They were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. All right, so we are going to continue to stay on top of this story, work to get you more information, of course, the very latest on the shooter or shooters. Please stay with News 4. We will have much more coverage for you coming up today on News 4 at 4. In the meantime, we send you back to your regularly scheduled programming.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And reckless disregard for who they may injured, in which they did injure 3 victims seriously.
Chief, were the officers on duty or off duty who were inside?
A couple of the officers are working this location. They work up here off duty. And one other officer, he came here because they have some fine establishments in here. He was just here frequenting those, as any citizen would do, as he was on his way to another assignment. But he was off duty on his way to another assignment. And
wow. So they had officers present on the scene, still couldn't stop the shooting. And these things you can't really stop. You can only prevent more casualties from happening. But I did want you guys to be briefed on the police, and then we will actually have a citizen's account of what actually happened right after this.
Stopped here. So we had multiple officers who were here.
Okay, so 1 off duty, 2 who were on duty.
Yeah, 1 off duty and 2 who were actually on duty.
And they were assigned here
yes,
for security.
And a 4th officer did arrive here, who was here with them. So we had at least 4 officers who were inside this place on close proximity.
And the 2 who were inside, they were assigned to do security inside of the mall?
Yes.
Chief, you said the suspect took off. Did he drive away? Did he run away?
Well, they fled on foot. Witness accounts said they fled on foot. And the officers received that information and put it out over our radio, our police radio, that they fled on foot in this unknown direction. We were unable to locate those individuals, so we don't know if they ended up getting into a vehicle here at this particular time, or if they proceeded on foot to another location.
All of the people who were shot were involved in that interaction with the gunman?
No, we don't know that for certain, but we know there was some type of verbal exchange right now. What that verbal exchange was, we do not know, and we do not know if it.
Like I told you, the verbal exchange was probably, "Hey, you BAN, you PAN, da 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 da, you ain't this, you ain't that," and then it devolved into a super gremlin moment.
Was there with 1, 2, or 3 of the victims, but there was some kind of verbal exchange.
There's a lot of focus right now, of course, in this county and in our nation on gun violence. What's in your heart of what's happening? What do you have to say about something like this happening inside of the
Well, I think I echo the sentiments of many people here who live here, reside here, live, work, and play in Prince George's County, that we must address these senseless acts of gun violence by any means. So I don't think any of our residents deserve this into these acts that are just, in my opinion, are very openly cowardly acts to injure or hurt any of our residents here. So something must be done to address this violence. There's so many variables that go into all of the things that take place here, but I think collectively we should still be addressing those issues, and we should be addressing them head on.
Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're saying you believe at least some of the folks hit were intended targets, but it's possible other people were just wrong place, wrong time?
Well, we don't know that for certain. What we do know is that by accounts right now in the preliminary stages that some type of verbal exchange took place. That individual exited, two suspects exited the location. One of those individuals turned around and fired multiple shots in that direction. Whether their target was to just fire recklessly or at those individuals, 3 people were struck by those bullets.
Any idea how many shots fired?
Multiple shots were fired. Multiple.
What did the second person do? Just fled with the other suspect? Is that why you're looking?
By all accounts, they appeared to be together, and they fled from this location.
So you all also have this Waller Place situation going on right now with the vehicle that was stopped there. These are 2 separate incidents.
We don't have anything now to connect any of those incidents to this. Not at this particular time. Our investigators, just before my arrival here, I was getting some updates, and for the commanders who are here with me, providing me updates on the scene, we have nothing to connect those incidents at this particular time, or any of the other past incidents we've had in this area, not at this particular time.
So there are lots of cameras out here. They're working. You guys have video of the suspect?
We are working to obtain that video right now. We do believe we have some. We're hoping that it comes to fruition, but our investigators are working diligently right now to pull those videos.
What's the status of the mall right now? Is it completely closed, partially closed?
Well, right now we have an investigation going right now, so this area right here is partially closed, but the mall itself is not totally closed. Just this section right here that this incident occurred.
Chief, were the suspects wearing masks?
Yes, they did appear to have masks on.
They had Pooh Shiesty masks, which I don't have a problem with. They were following COV protocols.
And they were exiting. They did appear to have masks on. Right
like
now,
a mask or a ski mask?
Well, in some type of face covering is what I would say right now.
It's called a Pooh Shiesty mask, ma'am.
Did they have it on before? We don't know. Did they put it on upon the exiting? Most likely, when they were exiting the building.
We'll take 1 or 2 more questions. Ready, good?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys. So we do have on-scene reporting from one of our good friends here at the BGZM News 17 network. We have Osa the Healer, who was actually at the mall during this situation. Now, if you guys don't know who Osa the Healer is, he is a local rapper in the DMV area, and he actually has some dope bars. He comes on Ox Panel every now and again, and he was actually at this shooting and narrowly escaped not only being blocked in by the police with the caution tape, but also escaped gunfire from the Super Gremlins on Demon Time. So we will allow him to give his account of what actually happened on that fateful day.
Hey, yo, what up? I'm down Iverson Mall, and of course you can see police activity. Those are all police cars. I was at the mall getting my hair cut. Multiple people just got shot. I don't know if it's 2, 3 people, 7 people, I don't know.
And we know that it is 3 people, 1 male, 2 females.
Oh man, this is probably a mass shooting, another one. It ain't no white boy that did it.
And it's almost a mass shooting, almost. If they would have got 1 more person, it would have been a mass shooting, but they narrowly escaped mass shooting status. But like I said in the previous video, I do want to see how many shootings are barely touching or barely missing the mass shooting requirements, which is 4 or more people, not including the shooter.
Guaranteed, this is Iverson Mall in PG County. The crazy thing is, like, I always park over here. Like, I always park on this side. I always do. But today, I was coming from somewhere else, man. I parked on the other side of the mall. So luckily, I ain't get fucking shot, for real. That's 1. And then 2, my car ain't stuck behind police tape. But it's like, I can almost guarantee, you can almost guarantee that it wasn't a white person that did this. And they probably didn't have no AR-15. Yeah, this definitely ain't gonna make national news or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not juicy enough, and there's not a white person who shot somebody. So of the 290 something and climbing mass shootings in this country, it's probably we'd have a lot more news stories if there was more white people doing it. However, of the 290 something, you can only get a couple of stories, white dudes, which means that there's.
And that's a good point. There is a narrative that the face of mass shootings are incel white guys, and I think Salvador Ramos came and quickly debunked that. Not only him, but the other 200 some odd super gremlins who have been inflicting a tremendous amount of horror upon the community and other communities. So addressing these mass shootings really just comes back down to addressing the community, all right? And these super gremlins on demon time.
There's, a lot of people who are being protected from any type of blame because of their race. And those people who are being protected are very fortunate in this country. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're white and you do this type of stuff, your ass is going to be on CNN. You know what I mean? But I'm about to ask an officer too. I'm about to ask if there's any lookout. Chances are it's no lookout and don't nobody know who did this shit at the fucking mall. I don't know what's going on, man. We live in the twilight zone.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, in school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.